For Overflow, this one was actually a little bit tricky for me, lyrically and melodically, to finish. I believe it's the last one that we worked on, and lyrically it's kind of based on a lot of the musical situations that we were all in separately. We were all dealing with a handful of changes, and it was a little bit just kind of cyclical, and a lot of the same questions being asked, at least for me personally, kind of having to do with the music industry and my personal experience with it for so many years, and really feeling, is it just luck? Is it talent? Is it happenstance? Or is it not? And so it really just felt like a little bit of a vicious circle of thinking, and really just feeling like it was starting to boil over and overflow. And that's just kind of where the whole feel of the EP came from.
The keys part and sort of the chordal structure of the song is something I'd actually been sitting on for probably like 5 years. I remember sort of coming up with it during a sound check on a different tour, and kind of just kept it in my back pocket. This is actually something that I showed to John before we were a band when he was maybe going to produce my own music, and he listened to it and we scrapped it, and then a couple years later I brought it back to the band and started working on it, and yeah, that was that.
When I was tracking it, I wanted to keep the drums simple to allow the Rhodes offbeat rhythms to kind of poke through and be the main focus. So that was really fun. There was a lot of percussion. In the tracking room, there was a lot of percussion, a lot of cowbells, a lot of other shakers and tambourines, and I brought in a super tiny bongo set, and I just distorted it and tweaked it to pretty much a place where you don't really recognize it as a bongo. When we tracked all of our demos, when we wrote these songs, we recorded onto my Porter Studio, little tape machine, cassette tape machine, and we did like drums, keyboard, vocal, and the guitars, just 4 tracks. While we were doing vocals, Eric plugged Natalie's vocals into a Boss delay, and while she was singing, Eric was messing with the delay feedback, and what you hear in the verses where her vocals kind of echo over and over again, that was probably one of my favorite parts of the demo, and I think that was the only reason. Actually, there's another reason, but that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to make the song work, just for that delay in that verse. The second part, the second thing that I really gravitated towards was there's this keyboard part in the demo where Natalie plays it on a Casio, like a small Casio keyboard, just like a really stupid part that I was just like, yo, Natalie, like put something on top, just play like a stupid keyboard part. And you could hear it in the final recording, pan to your right, and I loved it. But that was supposed to be the main focus of that ending, but in the end, when I was mixing, Eric's Rhodes part that he just kind of improv'd was just way more interesting and way more fun to do, so that became kind of like the main thing towards the end, and that little stupid Casio part just kind of pushed to the side, just, you know, a little Easter egg. Or the straight rhythm guitar parts that Natalie put, I think it really drives the song forward, and I was kind of leaning into that to keep the song as driven as possible. The bridge vocals had a lot of tape, but I put that into Tascam 122 MK2. It's like a little cassette deck. I think it just adds a lot of texture towards that section.